Scene 3, take 5.
So the title of the episode is called Kiss It Better, based on the Rihanna song that we have.
Yeah. The episode is it's a Simone-centric episode, so all we get to see is Simone. We don't get to see any of the other ladies for this episode, and that was something that we wanted to do with every single episode. We were supposed to give each lady, each one of the women, their own episodes. But that didn't really work out, again, because we filmed out of sequence and scheduling was chaotic. Everybody had their own lives, so it ended up only having to come through with a couple episodes. You know, we just had Brooke-centric episode. This is Simone-centric episode. We kind of get to see her daily life, so we get to see more into her and Jared's relationship, and how that really plays out, and how that's very how will I say? I don't want to keep using chaotic, but how it's very
interesting.
It is detrimental to the well-being of both of them.
Yes.
You don't want me hanging out with my friends. You don't want me in your space. I'm rehearsing too much. And now I'm a liar and a cheater?
The episode opens with a very heated argument between Jared and Simone. And this is basically the window into the episode, the stuff that we haven't been seeing. We kind of got that hint at it in the first episode when they argue about her being in the bed and cuddling with him.
Okay, it was never a problem before, so why is it now?
It's not. I'm just not in the mood.
I ain't asking for dick, motherfucker.
Why can't you just sleep in your bed?
Okay, Jared, what's the issue? Because this wasn't a problem before.
Why you always gotta think there's a problem?
Maybe because there is. Were you not just arguing with me about going out?
I thought we settled that.
I thought we did too. That was some of my best work.
Whatever, you're missing the point.
And then we kind of get another hint at it because she starts talking to Calvin in episode 2 about how she just left an argument with Jared. So
nothing, it's just Jared again.
What do you do now?
Same old, same old. It just gets on my nerves.
You want to talk about it?
No, not with you.
Ouch.
I didn't mean it like that.
So it just shows how this couple is always arguing and what kind of arguments that they're having. And it is, again, that was actually the first scene we shot out of the entire show. It was the first scene that we shot out of the entire show. And it was beautifully done by both Ashley and Rock. And it sort of ends ambiguously. The fight ends in a very ambiguous way. You don't really know where they stand. Is this a normal thing between them? Then it cuts to 2 days later. We get Simone on the phone with Jared, or she's got his voicemail, and she's calling and saying how she apologized for what she said during the argument because they were really going at each other.
Jared, it's been 2 days. I know you're getting my calls and texts. I'm sorry for what I said. Call me back.
And then it cuts to her at her job waiting to be picked up by him. So she's calling, he's not answering the phone. Calvin comes by in the Captain Save-A-Hole kind of trope.
Yes.
And yeah, he's like, I can give you a ride. And she's like, no, I don't think that's a good idea, because we see that they have had this argument about Calvin. And then he's like, no, it's fine. So he grabs her bag, and then she reluctantly goes, but it's also like, well, my man's not coming.
Right,
so I
also
need to
get
go
home.
So she goes home with him. We get more of their relationship in the car.
Boy, shut up and drive, please.
I'm just trying to make conversation with someone I thought was my friend. Unless you have something you want to tell me.
Yeah, you don't know when to be quiet.
Then they get out of the car. He walks her inside the building, and she's like, okay, this is really not a good idea, so I need to send this man away. So Calvin, please, I don't need your help. And as she turns around, who's coming out of this door of the stairwell? It is the man who has not texted her, called her back. It's Jared.
Right.
And this scene was gonna go very differently.
Oh, it was gonna go so differently.
But he's coming out. He doesn't live in this building, so it's not really made that clear. But it's made a little bit clear in later episodes that he doesn't live in that building. So she's like, "Why are you here?" They have their sort of fallout. He tells her, "Oh, when I said I was done in the argument, I meant I was done with you."
I said I was done, and clearly you moved on, and so have I. Calvin, she's all yours, bro. Not that she's that great.
She's upset, so she runs upstairs and she goes to her room. And then it cuts to later that night. She has changed. She is just in her room. She is drinking wine by herself. This kind of tells you where she is in her state of being, her mental state. And then who shows up again? Calvin.
But I feel like we've always, not we, but as people, we've had that time where you need to like somehow de-stress and maybe
Have we?
I don't know.
I don't think in a way. Oh no, no.
Find a focal point of trying to find a way of coping, and maybe maybe that's not the best
but
way.
with Cole, she is drinking. And we see the size of the bottle on the table in the scene. She's drinking that by herself, and he comes in, he gets a glass of wine. They're having a conversation, and it's established from here that clearly there's more to their relationship than has originally been shown and let on.
Right.
And then it ends with a very passionate kiss.
Yes.
A very which then you're thinking like, oh my God, she just kissed him. She just got out of this relationship. What's gonna happen? And the episode ends just because it's a cliffhanger. And I like to leave people hanging.
Yes. My favorite scene is the ending scene where you're having, you see Simone and Calvin have that interaction and that conversation, and it leads into a very passionate kiss. And I was a little bit taken back by the kiss because I was like, oh wow, okay, yes. But that's my favorite scene.
That would be your favorite scene. That would. My favorite scene is the argument, because the way that's written, the way it's edited together, the way it was acted, it all came together how I pictured it. It's a very quick cut scene. We're not getting the full scope of the argument. We're hearing part of the argument, it jumps to the next part of the argument, it jumps to the next part of the argument, and then it sort of ends on this very high note. It's a very hyper masculine note. It goes, whoa, it's gone. So yeah.
And I remember us writing that scene and talking to each other on the phone and trying to figure out how to build that scene. If you remember, I don't know if you remember.
I don't.
You don't remember? Wow.
Don't.
Wow.
But it's okay. It's your turn to shine. You are the new writer in town, so it's okay.
Yes. And I really enjoyed writing that scene and kind of picking the brain and what would set him off and what would hurt him more.
And I like to pull from Shonda.
Yes.
As Maya likes to tell me, she says, you clearly like to write in a way where there's words. So what she says, you're petty, disrespectful, lying, trifling, whatever, you know, ass, she says in the scene. And I had to explain to her that was the Shonda influence. I love Shonda Rhimes.
Yes, it does.
And she kind of does these monologues, and so that's where I kind of built that in. So for me, that was easy coming up with what she was going to say, because I was like, all of the negative things. What could you say to hurt a very fragile man? And what could you say to a very empowered woman to set her off? Which is when he's like, shut up, you lying. She said, who are you talking to? Her face does that scene though. Who are you talking to? It's hilarious.
No!
Shut up, you lying!
Who do you think you're talking to?
You out here fucking us up!
So, the very first scene, like I said, we shot of the show was that argument scene. As a new director, I still have to find my voice, find my style, figure out how I'm going to direct. So in those scenes, I was asking Ashley and Rock to channel things in the past, which is kind of a trick that, you know, every actor uses and every director uses in terms of getting the right emotion from actors in a scene. So I kind of just asked them to think about, you know, what would trigger them in that moment. And I had to break down, because it was the first scene and we're shooting out a sequence, I had to explain what they haven't shot yet.
Right.
That comes before this, and then I have to explain where this may go in the future, so that way they could play the parts accordingly. Because it's something that the argument is sort of happening in a choppy way, I don't even think we filmed the argument in the correct order either. Then the scenes with Calvin and Simone, I think, was shot on the day.
Yeah.
It was a whole nother week, probably 2 weeks. 2 weeks later than when we shot that argument scene. And as it went along, I was able to find my voice in terms of how to direct them, how to bring the things to light. It was sort of in like episode 2, the whole stretching that we talked about, you know, the partner stretching. How do we establish, you know, there's some sort of connection that's sort of inappropriate, but that's not inappropriate, or not appropriate for these characters. Just to give you some context, because clearly you already read it. You were cheating. Good question. Keep that in mind, but you have to project.
Like feel like I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah, and project on her because. And then he's gonna walk
Upset
up.
or sad?
Upset.
That is crazy. Bet they all got more than sex. Who are you talking to? Right.
Action.
Sorry. Okay.
May I please have a glass of wine?
And then he takes a shot, right?
Yeah, the glass is over there, so you're gonna actually get up and get it. No, not him. You're gonna get up.
Oh,
and get
me.
the cup for
Okay.
him.
Okay. So after, say that last line again.
May I have a glass of wine?
And then you'll be like, all right, get up and then get that red cup that's next to your phone.
The right one?
Yep, right
I
there.
thought it was a tiny little.
And then you come back and you sit down. And while she's getting up to get that, the camera's gonna be on you, so you kind of like wait like awkwardly.
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah. This ties into later episodes because it is left on a direct cliffhanger with what is now not at stake. What is the relationship between Calvin and Simone moving forward? And I mean that's pretty much the takeaway. Are we gonna see Jared again? Are we not gonna see Jared again? These sort of questions that because it is her episode, we only see her. It's really just okay, what is Simone gonna do? What is she gonna do? What's her next step? And how now that the relationships in her life has changed, the agents of chaos are coming in and out.
Right,
what is it gonna look like later?
Yes.